All right, y'all. Just want to jump on here on this little live for a little bit. You know, I haven't done on the go live in a little bit, so I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and come on through. It's been a few days, right? Um, Give me 1 second here. I'm only gonna be on like 20, 30 minutes, so because I'm busy right now. So I know I haven't really got a chance to jump on yesterday and talk about these fights yesterday, but I think most of y'all know why. I mean, they weren't the greatest of entertaining. They weren't the greatest fights. They weren't that entertaining, but I'm still talking about them because it's still part of WMMA. All right, but right now I just want to talk about this recent interview I checked out with Manon. Got up this afternoon and said, "Oh, okay, she's back in business now." And I know people keep on asking, "Where is she?" Okay, here she is. Told most of y'all she already been training, but she's back in business now, and she ready to take on this fight, man. Um, you know, the more I the more I just kind of look into the fight and how it matches up, I think it is kind of an interesting fight. I still would have rather one of the other fights happen, like Tyler or an Aaron. That would have been a good fight. But really, this is going to be interesting because I do think that Rose has been working on this on this on this move up. I think she's been known about it, and she's been telling everybody about it because that was her next step up. This was going to be her challenge. She wanted to jump up and find a new challenge, something that could get her up. So that's another reason why I think it makes it an interesting fight. Because I think Rose, when she rises to the occasion, she is a very dedicated fighter, and she's interesting at that. It makes it interesting. Dangerous at that. I mean, yeah, it makes it definitely a dangerous type of fight. But yeah, I was just listening to some of the things Madone talked about. It's like a 17, 18 minute interview. And yeah, one of the things that she had brought up, I kind of figured this. She said that last time she had mentioned the fight, she said that the UFC had kind of already offered that fight during her time off, during her time during the injury. She did say that the UFC put two fight, she thought it was going to come down to two fights, but, she had already heard that word was, Rose planned on moving up to 125. And, she said she would take that fight, welcome her to the division. But she also wanted the Aaron fight, which I thought they were going to put that one into play because it made more sense, man. It still makes more sense. It's still a fight that made a lot of sense because they're both at the top of the division, right? So why have somebody come in from 115 and interrupt that, right? It's like they're trying to add a little bit more fire to the flyweight division, but really flyweight doesn't need any more fire. I mean, 135 and 115 is kind of on the edge, right now, but 135 needs that fire right now. You know what I mean? But right now, I think it didn't really make any sense. I was hoping that they were coming down to choosing Aaron, but I guess they wanted to redo the Tyler and Aaron fight. So um, so she brought that up, and yeah, I kind of figured that was the thing because, like I said, the stuff that we don't get to talk, the stuff that we don't. Let me see how do I put this because everybody always says they think they know everything that's going on when they read like certain articles and things like that. No, there's always something going on. Like fighters won't bring up certain situations unless it's presented to them. Like a little while back, whenever even Miranda named a bunch. She didn't name a bunch of fighters, but she said that one reason she couldn't get a fight for a while was because like 4 or 5 people ducked her, right? Until somebody tells you something otherwise, and you just don't know, right? And she had to put it out there. Um, but yeah, a little further back, Rose has said, she talked about moving up and doing this and doing that. He said it's a possibility. That right there was already something that was being discussed with the UFC. I think like back in like 2022, like right after that Carla fight. And I think that was the road that she wanted to go because maybe she just wasn't feeling it anymore. And I, who could blame her? At 115, she's already kind of done it all, right? So it's her time to take a different challenge, right? So yeah, on that, I think it does make it an interesting fight. Um, I think it could play out to be more of a challenge. This being a 3-round fight too. I'm actually kind of favoring Manon if it was like a 5-round fight. But with it being a 3-round fight, it does come down to kind of being more of a challenge. Because I know Manon, she's going on record now. She says she feels like she's better in all disciplines. Now, I can't say she's better in all disciplines. I have to be honest. I have to go in certain things with the 2-time champion Rose. I have to say there are certain things that she's done and accomplished before Manon in the UFC. All right, so you got to factor in UFC experience. Um, Rose has already won, lost in the UFC. Rose started off early. I mean, she started off when like she had like a small number of fights in the UFC, right? So she got a chance to get some experience in the tough house. She got a chance to get some good stoppage wins in the tough house against some promising fighters, like Brandon and JoJo. And then, she faced her first step up in the championship fight against Carla Esparza and faced humility, right? So that's something that she's got a chance to experience early in her career. So I think that kind of builds tough skin on Rose in some ways. I know people always talk about her not being strong mentally, but, I think Rose does have tough skin. I mean, nobody's going to keep coming back over and over like that. Sometimes, fighters, you go on the downside after that. Because, like, some of these fighters you see now come into the UFC on a UFC debut and they lose their debut in the UFC, they disappear sometimes. They get cut. Rose lost in a dominant fashion years ago and still was able to bounce back and redefine herself. So again, she comes back, fights different fighters, different styles. She beats Joanna. She loses to Andrade, comes back, beats Andrade, beats Wei Lee in dominant fashion, beats one, the first time, then beats Wei Lee again. So if you kind of look at her resume, you got to say Rose has got that level of experience and so much more as far as she's experienced so much more as far as like evolution when it comes down to it. She's faced so much more as far as like evolution when it comes down to the UFC level of MMA. Now, there's a downside though. There's a downside. Now, she may be better in that aspect, but who's more hungry? I mean, who's the more hungry fighter? I say Manon's the more hungry fighter, which could definitely make her work on the right things to beat Rose in this fight. Okay, like, I want to do a comparison here. Well, I'll hold off on that. Yeah, I'll hold off on that because there are a couple of things I wanted to cover with like a comparison on like the hunger versus somebody that is experienced. Like you have to look at the hunger in Manon now versus like what Rose is doing. Like Manon, she's more on a straight path of what she wants. You know what I mean? Like there have been no mess ups in between. She's undefeated in the UFC, and this is the weight class that she really wants to target to be champion in, right? Rose may be experienced and may be a little bit technically better in different things, but it's still kind of like going out on a limb, because she's trying to find something to make her rise to the occasion. Where Manon, she's been out for almost, by the time she comes back, she'll been out for about 11 months, right? And being out for about 11 months, she's going to come back hungry, jumping right back on the path that she was on. But, when you look at somebody like Rose, she's kind of looking around, she's kind of looking at what can get her going again. And if you look at some of her past performances where she'll kind of have a slip up in the middle of a fight, it could cost her. It's dangerous. So maybe not. The danger aspect of moving up to 125 is going to help her, but she's going to have to be fully turned on. Because right now, I would say Rose is technically better at certain things, but I think Manon is much more hungrier for the title at 125. All right, she knows what she's going for. Where again, Rose, I think Rose, she's trying to find that challenge again, and who knows if the challenge is going to be there. See, at 115, it was a little bit safer. When she went for 2 time, she knew Wei Li. Wei Li didn't outweigh her. She wasn't bigger than her. She wasn't stronger than her. So it came down to it still being a little bit of a safe bet. She's been in this division longer, but moving up, it's gonna be a little bit more dangerous against Manon Fiorot. Now on another note, all right. On another note, Rose may be better, right? We might say, okay, I disagree with Manon. Rose might be better in certain disciplines than Manon. Manon says she feels like she's better grappler, better striker, and everything. Okay, we'll say Rose is better. Some of y'all do feel like Rose is better, but you know what? She was better. She was technically better against Jessica Andrade. Remember, she was technically better against Jessica Andrade. I picked her to beat Jessica Andrade the first time. Why? Because Rose is smarter and she's technically better. Same with the second fight, but let's talk about the first fight when she fought Andrade. I put money on. I didn't put no money on this one, no. But Rose, when she fought Jessica Andrade, a lot of people went in that fight saying, "Oh yeah, she's technically better. She's better in all aspects, right?" But we saw how that turned out. All right, 2 rounds. Rose got a chance to show her footwork in 1 round, her striking, and a little bit of a clinch game, and the ability to separate and go back to doing what she was doing. But by the second round, she got chopped down and worn down, and boom, that was it, right? So styles make fights. So, but I will say this: with Manon being technically better than Andrade, she has the ability to go in there and hurt Rose still, or do something big and beat her. Okay, because I would say this falls. I think we could say this phrase falls into MMA as well as it does boxing. The good big man always beats the good little man. But with MMA, sometimes it seems like there's other variables that kind of fall into place where I don't use that as much, but it's a possibility. It is a possibility where it could just be like that. So I think, yeah, even though Rose is a little bit more experienced in the UFC and she is technically better, Manon does have the abilities to beat her. She definitely has those abilities, because if Andrade could do it, I think somebody that's smarter than Andrade and bigger and stronger and probably has better punch resistance and just durability all around, and this is her weight class, now I think she should be able to do it. She should be able to win. But I think for Manon to win this fight, she's gonna have to prove that, yeah, I'm better in all these disciplines. Like, it can't be a pure striking approach. Like, it can't be a pure striking approach for Manon Fiorot. It can't. It's got to be the well-rounded skills that you talk about. It's got to be pressure, more of a physical type of striking where you're breaking her down. To break Rose down, you got to slow her down, and then you got to be physical on the inside. You got to take her down, and you got to out muscle her, you got to out strength her, and all of those aspects. If you make it like a pure striking match, that's going to give Rose too much confidence. Going to make her a little bit too comfortable, and it's going to make her it's going to give her the fight she wants, where she can pick her strikes. Rose is very good with timing, and she's quick. She's not like a high volume fighter like Chikagan and those other type of strikers, but I think that Rose is definitely quick, and she knows how to time you. Because that's how I said she would beat Joanna in the past. I said it came down to her timing. Joanna's quicker. I know Joanna's faster with hand speed, but Rose is quicker. There's a difference. There's a big difference in that. So, you know, hopefully it's going to be a good fight, y'all. I just want to get on here for a little bit and talk about it. You got to have that type of confidence, though. You got to have that type of confidence like Manon does, though. You got to go in there feeling like you are the better fighter. I mean, she's the better flyweight. We know that, right? We know for a fact she is the better flyweight. She's been there longer. She's got the experience there, and she's shown how to handle different styles. She's fought different levels of flyweights, you know. So we'll see how this thing goes. I don't really think it's going to be a mismatch off top. I don't think it will be a mismatch. I think that, Rose, I'm gonna give her credit that she is preparing for this, because she is looking for that new she's looking for that new challenge. I don't think she will. I think she'll put on the weight. I think she will give a good effort. I think she will give a good effort. It's hard to say that she'll fully go in there and just beat me on off of like a head kick or something like that. Possibility is there, but Rose doesn't throw a lot of kicks like that, and I don't think she'll try to fall for it. I don't think she'll try to fall into that same category, trying to throw the same thing over again. She didn't even do that against Wei Li the second time. She wasn't able to. Let's see what else. What else I want to cover real quick. I'm just kind of doing this off the fly, y'all, because I know some people wanted me to talk about this, and I just wanted to jump on because I just watched the interview. I was just driving and I watched it, and I said, all right, I give my thoughts on what I think. My thoughts on how I think this fight will play out. I think it's good. I think I'm going to still give Manon the edge. Like, I can't say it's a 50-50 fight. I say like 60-40 Manon just because of the mental part here with Rose. Like, sometimes she just doesn't show up. And, sometimes when fights get too physical, she can be broken. I look back at like the Carolina fight. There's moments in there where Carolina, when she was putting the dog on Rose, she was kind of struggling some, And I just look at how she reacts to certain things in there. And even this most recent fight, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's weird though. Like, it's weird how it's weird how Rose's kryptonite is like small fighters. Y'all ever think about that? I was just driving and I thought about that, man. Like, have y'all ever realized that, man? Like, Rose, her kryptonite is tiny fighters, like short little fighters. Like, because honestly, I think Tisha Torres beat her twice. She's lost twice to Tisha Torres to me. That's a short fighter. Carla Esparza beat her twice. Andrade beat her once and technically gave her a tough fight in the second one. One just thought she won. So 6 times Rose has struggled with short fighters, but really she doesn't have a lot of trouble with like fighters her size or a little bit bigger. Ain't that weird? Am I the only one that noticed that, man? Zama said her kryptonite is a pressure fighter. No, her kryptonite is like these tiny fighters because Tisha's not really a pressure fighter. Like, Tisha's like a quick in and out fighter, with quick hands. It's almost like she just can't like handle like short fighters or something, man. Like, you would think so. Like, she would know how to punch down and throw kicks to the body. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just like the way some of them get inside on her and physically strong little stocky wrestlers, those little wrestlers like that, and fighters she can't really get a clean beam on. Like, yeah, they tend to be her kind of kryptonite, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Let me check some of these comments because I was just kind of talking a little bit. I saw one. Okay, hold on. James Press said, how is Rose going to fight her from the outside? Manon has the reach, inside has the strength. How is she going to fight her from the outside? Well, Rose has reach too. Rose has reach and she has timing. Rose has the ability to fight. Rose's best bet is to fight on the outside to me. Like, Rose won't get picked apart clearly on the outside. I think now if Manon gets into a rhythm and she lands that straight left hand, it could be a problem. Like, if she keeps her hands tight in this type of fight and she can kick, consistently to the body on Rose, then she'll have trouble fighting from the outside. But if she can take away the sidekick of Manon and keep the long right hand in Manon Fiorot's face, it'll be a much more competitive fight. But yeah, Rose has a chance to fight and actually win from the outside. I have to give her that. She has that chance. Now the inside, that'll be kind of different because those inside clinches, man, like Manon is pretty strong. Like she just doesn't always fight on the inside like that. But whenever time calls, she can do it. She could handle Meyer Silva, and she handled Jennifer Maia. She handled Jennifer Maia pretty well. So I think, yeah, the inside would be more on her, landing body shots and knees. But that outside fight, it'll be kind of interesting there because Chikagan has some success on the outside. Jennifer Maia had some success on the outside, but it's like whenever she would turn into more of an inside fighter on these physically smaller frame women, it goes in her favor. Because like Manon said it herself after that Chikagan fight, she wished she would have been more of a wrestler. She wanted to strike with Chikagan, but she said she probably should have wrestled more because I think she would have won the fight clearly if she would have mauled and fought on the inside and ragdolled Chikagan. But yeah, I think Rose has more of a chance from the outside. I think she can time. Her timing is good. Her timing is good, and she's got a good long jab, and she's got a good long reach and long kicks. And you got to remember she has that Taekwondo background. So hey, she's got them long limbs, and she knows how to throw them high head kicks. So you never know, man. Yeah, Brian, I think we can all say that that's the same thing we said about Andrade, though. You know what I mean? Like, Brian, we said that about Andrade. I put her name in there. I think we all seen enough of Andrade that I don't think there's anything that Rose won't be prepared for, right? And yeah, but like you said, but that doesn't mean she won't be successful. Yeah, because I said the same exact thing whenever Rose was gonna fight Andrade. I said, oh, she's got all the tools. We seen this over and over. I said there's not like a full-on blueprint to beat Manon Fiorot. Now, there's a 100% full-on blueprint to beat Jessica Andrade. That's why when I first saw that matchup coming, Rose and Andrade, I said, oh yeah, Rose has got this. I said she's got everything. She's better. She's better, on the ground. She's better with her striking and her footwork and everything. But we saw how that turned out big time. See, I think Manon definitely skills and technique is above Andrade, So there's more of a chance there. Like I think she'll switch it up a little bit more in this fight. Like you see her switch it up more than Andrade. See, Andrade's the same thing, but still, like that fighter bringing the same thing, she was able to destroy Rose, And I know it's the physical strength and everything like that, but hey, Ravioli said Andrade would have beat Rose if that was a 5-round fight. Oh yeah, yeah. I was talking about that first fight too though. Like, yeah, I went in, feeling confident that Rose was gonna do that, but even with her tools she couldn't. So necessarily being better isn't always the case. I think it's, being mentally focused. So that's what kind of makes me nervous about picking Rose in this fight. That's what makes me nervous because sometimes she just won't show up. Okay, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. I just wanted to jump on. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Y'all got some good. Y'all have some. I see y'all been commenting. I just been kind of reading through one or two because I'm still moving here. KelQuest said, "Why did Rose go up to 125?" I think she went up to 125 for the challenge, man. Because really, she's done everything at 125, 115. There's always going to be a new challenge for her at 115. Fans are always going to want to see her fight Yan Jana. They're going to want to see her fight Mackenzie Dern, Marina Rodriguez, Amanda Lemos. But she's already fought everybody at 115, plus beat Wei twice. So really, to me, I don't really want to see a third Wei fight. This fight is actually a little bit more interesting. This is new. She's moving up in weight. This is actually new, right? JJ said Rose was the strongest fighter she fought. Yeah, she said that she wanted to make it look a little bit better since she got knocked out, right? Because she also said that she also had fired her nutritionist, right? You know, JJ also blamed the weight cut too whenever she got knocked out by Rose too. So I don't know how much we can really take into what Joanna says. Joanna always be making wrong picks too. Sometimes, you know. Gene Tidwell said at least Rose beat Whaley twice. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she already beat Whaley twice. So really, when you think about it, should she go do it again? I mean, 125 has more of a nicer ring if you're a fighter that's already cleaned out. Well, that's the thing too. Like Rose beat the champion, but she never really like defended the belt either. You know, she never really defended the belt. So I don't know. I'm gonna get up out of here. Gene Tidwell said, "Oh yeah, I read that." But yeah, I wanted to read some more of these comments. I know y'all had some questions too because I just had a few things to talk about. But yeah, oh yeah. Manon also said, what did Manon say? Manon said, yeah, Manon thinks that Tyler's gonna beat Aaron too. She believes that, you know, she's a better and all around stronger fighter. She thinks Tyler's gonna win that Aaron fight. Which I still give her the edge. James Press said this is the weirdest move from a top women fighter in a long time. Not really. I mean, I guess I'm used to seeing it in boxing. Whenever you've done something, you move up. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really that weird when you think about it, because, like I said, she's already a two-time strawweight champion, and she seems to have like slim pickings as far as like getting her motivated to come back. So why not move up? You know, it's not really that weird. You know, I guess it's rare. You could say it's rare, but not really weird, right? But that's all for me, y'all. I gotta go. Hit that like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll still talk. I just wanted to get this quick one off, about 20 something minutes. Shout out to everybody in chat. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.